to this regular public meeting of the Dieppe City Council on January 27th, 2020. We'll start with our opening statement. Dear colleagues, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we'll call the meeting to order. We'll confirm quorum. Only one person absent. Are there any conflicts of interest with the councillors respecting items on the agenda? So for the adoption of the agenda, moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. For the question? No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried as presented. Presentations. Inquiries and petitions. 7.1. Inquiries by council members for Superintendent Fitzcrew, who's here with us tonight. Are there any questions? Any questions from the public? Please present yourself at the mic.
Letter about my situation at my home where I'm paying double fees because I rent a unit. So I wrote a letter explaining.
Okay, this is on another listed item. We won't be long. You don't have to go sit down. It will be that quick, I believe. So, yeah. So,
French is rusty.
Monsieur le Superintendant Critchlow, do you have anything for us?
Merci, Monsieur le maire et membres du Conseil. Pas beaucoup. Comme d'habitude, nos statistiques sont sur notre site web, website. So, à part de ça, nous sommes en train de faire nos priorités, nos initiatives. Une compagnie qui vont faire des surveys avec nos.
Have surveys with citizens. So we will receive the service and then send the results on to you. We'll determine what are the important facts for the community, and then we shall plan our initiatives and priorities. Thank you. There's no comment following what Mr. Critchlow has said.
All right.
Yes. So,
can you identify yourselves, please?
Yes, my name is Paul Randolph.
Paul Randolph.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So
Go ahead.
I prepared a letter explaining the situation of our particular house. It's built with a unique in-law unit, so I don't want to take your time. I just thought I would leave the letter here for your consideration.
When was that?
When did the fees double?
No, when did you send the letter?
I didn't mail it. I brought it with me.
Oh, you brought it with you. Okay. Well, if you can either explain it, the situation.
Okay. I will. Yes.
Yeah. Let's do that, and then you can bring your letter up to our director of communications.
I'll keep this as short as I can.
Sure.
So it was
no rush.
Designed by the architect to be a separate in-law unit. It's a whole suite, dining, living area, kitchen, bedroom, walk-in closet, and the fire door, etc. So it really is separate from the house, but from the outside, it's one building. Mm-hmm. So we're renting it, and so our water, sewer, garbage fees are double. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping that we might have some exception to that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Or in the alternative, maybe to install a water meter and depend on usage, fee for use.
Monsieur Melançon?
Well, we did receive
We bought this house because of that unit.
Okay.
Because we need the rental income, I won't have a lot when I retire, so we were counting on it. Mm-hmm. If I knew this, maybe I didn't buy the house.
So, Mr. Mayor, yes, we have our bylaw that is pretty clear. When you have a second residence in the same resident, we need to charge a second fee for the water and sewage. So this is our bylaw. It's written like that. So at the moment, this is the way we address the situation. When you submit your letter, we can explain in more details on why and what article is exactly the reason why we are submitting such an invoice. And also, we refer from the province of New Brunswick when they do their evaluation. They are the one identifying those that have a second residence or an apartment under with their houses. So that's where we do take our reference to identify those residents.
I have a sneaking suspicion there's sort of an underground economy in room rentals, and I'm not one of them. I put the tenant's deposit with the rentalsman, and I think that's how they identified the property, but I tried to do the right thing. The other question was if possibly we could have a water meter and pay for usage instead, if there are no exceptions to the bylaw. That's all I have to say.
So, Mr. Mayor, to the second question, we're evaluating at this moment concerning water meter. It's a big investment for the city, so that's part of the evaluation that we need to take in consideration. So at the moment, that's not the direction that we have recommended to council, but we will certainly be discussing this item in the future.
My last point is the house has 4 bedrooms, so it can house 8 people. There are 4 people in it now, so we have half the people and double the fee, and it's just, in the 3rd grade, I learned math, that doesn't add up. But anyway, I'll leave the letter with the lady here. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And we'll follow up.
Yeah. So somebody from the administration will respond to your letter in fine details, but it's an issue that's been coming up quite a bit because of the way the province is identifying the properties, and I guess it's a question of approach on the part of the city, how do we deal with it? And as Mr. Melançon has mentioned, when we initially looked at the possibility of metering the whole city, for us, it was somewhere in the area of
$5 to $6 million.
$5 to $6 million investment.
At that time,
and this goes back at least 3 years, probably. I think the last time was Mr. Thériault's not here today, but seems to me it was like 3 years ago. So, yeah. So that's not to say we're not ever going to reevaluate and act on that, but for the time being, that's the way the bylaws are written, and we'll respond to your letter in a formal way. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing it up. Hey, quelqu'un d'autre?
Anybody else in our wide public? No. So we shall continue with the adoption of the minutes. Moved by Councillor Thibodeau, seconded by Councillor Brideau. For the question? No questions. All those in favor of the adoption of the minutes of January 13th signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Adopted as presented. Number 10, motions, memorandums, and nominations. 10.1.1, ratification of various directives adopted at closed meetings. Mr. Melançon. Good evening, everyone. This is for clarification. We have details on directives by council. There are actions to be taken by staff. We're making them public today. So here are the details. Noron Inc., adopted June 24th, 2019. This is a directive, a request from the city to the Supreme Court of Canada on September 12th. We're still awaiting a decision. It's a permission for a judgment from the Court of Appeal of New-Brunswick, rendered June 19th, for Noron Inc. It's owner of a trailer park. So we're waiting for this. The Court of Appeal said that the rates were too high and reduced them, even though they concluded that Dieppe was within its powers and the law. So we've received a lot of letters from municipalities and everywhere in Canada as well. The directive, second directive, is the future building of the Kodiak RCMP. The three cities and the authority are working on this. They have three recommendations for council. Firstly, to proceed with an RFP and to hire a manager, Colliers. And second is a request for proposals for architecture and engineering, APL architects. Thirdly, to get independent services experts for cost estimates, category A, during the design process of the building. We chose Altus Group Incorporated. Fourth, that the city create a lot for the topography and geothermic to acquire a lot, and we know that this will be on Albert Street in Moncton. Third directive, the contract of September 23rd, and the city has committed to a finance campaign, Kodiak, and we hired Cyril Labelle for $18,000 to work with the campaign from September to December. Fourth directive, Carrium Group, that was adopted October, as a service that will last for 2 years with a mandate for this consultant for fire safety in Dieppe. 5, received the airport, an agreement. The council authorizes a memorandum of understanding for the Greater Moncton International Airport for de-icing. 6, cost-sharing agreement with the City of Moncton, Town of Riverview, and Dieppe on October 15. This is the signing authority. This would be an agreement of 30 years for cost sharing within these three partners, as if they were all partners without really being. The City of Moncton will be responsible for the construction and management. A budget will be prepared by Moncton for the rental of the building. Management will start in the next year as we do it now with Kodiak. The reimbursement of the debt and interest, insurance, electricity, heating, repairs, management of the property, costs of operations, and snow removal, annual contributions for the reserve, a cycle of life to replace the roof, etc. There's also a clause of the residual value of the building and a clause for one of the parties who would wish to leave. Music are for future shows adopted December 9th. Recommendation to council that we proceed to consult the population to offer 3 shows per year with the Musica. The consultation took place in the neighborhood and we received no objection. The file is ongoing. 8, Melasso Road installation of water system adopted November 12, 2019. municipal services in this zone, which they don't have at the time being. So we've consulted residents to know their situation and for them to present their opportunities. It's been a positive state. 9, purchase land parcel, new public access construction project, March 26. In downtown, north-south alley to acquire parcel 1 on Gauvin Road. It was included in the development project adopted here on December 9th. Here are the details of these 9 directives. Thank you. Is there anybody to read the resolution? Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Your Worship. Council ratifies the directive adopted. Number 1, Noron Inc., adopted June 24th, 2019. Kodiak RCMP Detachment Future Building, adopted August 13, 2018. 3, contract award fundraising campaign, Uniplex, adopted September 23, 2019. 4, fire department proposal, Icarium Group, adopted October 2, 2019. Signing authority, memorandum of understanding, Greater Moncton International Airport Authority and Transaqua, adopted October 15, 2019. 6, signing authority, cost sharing agreement, City of Moncton and Town of Riverview, adopted October 15, 2019. 7, call for tenders, future shows, Musica site, adopted December 9th, 2019. Water system and sanitary sewer installation 2020 project, Melanson Road, adopted November 12th, 2019. 9, purchase land parcel 1, new public access construction project, adopted March 26, 2018. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Alain. Others raised their hands. I had choice tonight. For the question? No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Next item, 10.2.1, grants. Your Worship, here we have a resolution for the beginning of the year for grants in the amount of $294,000. With the Municipal Council, we have Atlantic Ballet of Canada for 10 years, $10,000. University of Moncton Evolution, 4th year of $50,000. Cathédrale Notre-Dame for 2020, it's the 5th for $10,000. Fondation des Jeux de l'Acadie, 4th out of 5 years, $15,000. Soins extraordinaires, Moncton Hospital, 2020, first year of 5, $10,000 for a total of $95,000. And the contributions on respecting policy 13, Santa Claus parades, Saint-Anselme Trail. So we have a total of $4,000 there. Community groups, cadets, Golden Age Club of Dieppe, Girls and Boys Club of Dieppe, Gymnastics Dieppe, Youth House of Dieppe, Youth House Intervention Community, Pro Youth, Scouts of Dieppe, Veterans, for contributions of $180,000 for policy L15. L19 for youth that participate in sports and cultural activities, $4,500. L20 grants, food bank, Maison de Nazareth, Nazareth House, Radio Temps, Tree of Hope. New request 2019, we have a reserve of $2,500. So for this category, $7,500, a total of $294,400. Thank you. For the reading of the resolution, Councillor Arsenault. Thank you. The council authorized the 2020 grants to the various organizations outlined in the memorandum dated January 13, 2020, and further authorized the sum of said grants totaling $294,400 be defrayed from account number 1-2-20-28-2310, General Operating Budget Grants Organizations. I so moved by Councillor Arsenault, seconded by Councillor Bilodeau for the question. Councillor Godet. I would like some clarification on the previous year. Were there any additions to the number of groups compared to this year? Secondly, were there adjustments for the ones that are on the list from last year? If it's different, I'll let you know tomorrow morning. There have been no changes respecting the total. The grants are the same as last year. The same groups? No groups disappeared? No. If it's different, I'll let you know tomorrow. Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Carried as presented. Next item, 10.3.1, for the reading of the resolution. Councillor Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. The Council authorized the renewal of the vehicles, buildings, and liability insurance, as well as the liability insurance for the directors and elected municipal officials with Frank Cowan Company, payable to Assurance Gauguin Champlain Insurance Inc. at the cost of $345,648 for 2020. The Council authorized the renewal of the fiduciary insurance with Southwestern Insurance Group Ltd., payable to Assurance Gauguin Champlain Insurance Inc. at the cost of $3,630 for 2020. The Council authorized the renewal of the environmental liability insurance with Marco, payable to Assurance Gauguin Champlain Insurance Inc. at the cost of $18,385 for 2020. I so move. Moved by Councillor Cormier, seconded by Councillor Leblanc for the question. Councillor Alain. Thank you, Your Worship. Mr. Belasso, I'm looking at services on the context. In 2012, we were looking at proposals for 4 years, extended for 18th and 19th, but this year we haven't gone ahead with a proposal. In 2019, we knew that we had had an extension of 2 years with an agreement of 4 years. So 6 years that we haven't had a proposal. And as well, we see the increase of 10%. It's a tendency on the market now. A lot of accidents. We're not easily insurable anymore. Why haven't we gone ahead for more proposals? Mr. Landry. Yes, we were supposed to ask for proposals this year, but we didn't have enough time. Probably we could have had an outside counsel because the legal terms are more and more difficult. We hope to do it this year to find a consultant. With the increases We have an increase of 14% during the past 5 years, so we're still paying less than we did in 2015 because we changed companies. We've had a couple incidents with our vehicles these past couple of years, so it's increased for 2020. The consultant was Assurance Goguet in 2012? Yes, it was our broker. So we had only one RFP without a consultant the last time. The RFP we did was for a broker. He decided which insurance company he wanted to deal with. In 2015, Gauguin Champlain went on the market and we changed an insurance company. Now it's Frank Cohen that had savings for us of $60,000 at that time. We'll do it again, and we'll try to find another broker. So we'll choose the broker and the insurance company for the year 2021. We should have done it in 2020, but we did not. Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Adopted as presented. 10.4.1. Mr. Lasso, here we have a mutual aid agreement between the Fire Department of Dieppe, City of Moncton, and Town of Riverview. We've had an agreement since July '93. It was for the cooperation within the fire departments. So here it will allow us to have mutual aid for different services of the different municipalities if we have an emergency situation and one of the two cities can help the other one in an emergency situation. This will allow us to tell us what our agreement would be. So if we can help our neighbors, as we always do, we can do it. This is confirmed with a formal agreement. For the reading of the resolution, Councillor Leblanc. Thank you, Your Worship. The Council will repeal the agreement entitled Mutual Aid Agreement that was reached with the City of Moncton and Town of Riverview on July 21st, 1993, and adopt the new agreement entitled Emergency Mutual Aid Agreement. I so move. Moved by Councillor Leblanc, seconded by Councillor Arsenault. For the question, Councillor Alain. Thank you, Your Worship. This new agreement, does it indicate a mechanism that would be very quick for personnel and the equipment? Before we buy equipment, for instance, is there a strategy in place with the three municipalities on the choice of equipment? Here we have a cooperation on some purchases, uniforms, and gear. So we cooperate. We have manpower. So we have other discussions as well to go even further for vehicles and equipment within these three municipalities, but as well as other municipalities in New-Brunswick to try to have savings. We must agree on the model of the vehicles. One might prefer another vehicle, so we have to discuss this with our neighboring cities. Thank you. Any other question? None. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried as presented. 10.5.1. This is a request for rezoning by Serge Gauvin for a lot on Amiro Road. So this just said a public meeting. He will present a budget at that time, and then we'll also ask for the planning committee will consider this request on April 14th and give us a recommendation. Thank you for the reading of the resolution. Councillor Alain. The council scheduled a public hearing on February 24th, 2020, at Dieppe City Hall to hear objections with regard to a proposed amendment to the zoning map under bylaw Z10, brackets 2017, to permit the development of a multiple unit dwelling. The council requests the written views of the Planning Advisory Committee and extend the deadline pursuant to section 110, brackets 3 of the Community Planning Act to April 14th, 2020. I so move. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Thibodeau, seconded by Councillor Thibodeau. I want to add that the neighborhood will be informed of this rezoning. We'll send information according to our practices. This is a building of 3 levels, so I think it was important that we advise. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried as presented. So this finishes this part of the agenda. And notices of motion, none received. Inquiries and announcements by members of council. And I believe I'll start on this side. They're pointing at each other, but I think the last time we ended at my left, so I'm going to start at the left. Thank you, Your Worship. I want to congratulate Stefan and Marc Richard. They're owners of Péripec, the franchise. And it's successful at home. They're 2 colleagues of university. I went to school with them, so congratulations to them for their ambition as entrepreneurs in our city. Our budget, provincial budget, is due on March 10th. I'm going to take the time to say a word. I hope people in Dieppe will do the same thing. We have the website gnb.ca. And the last question is for the municipal manager. There was an announcement in the Times and Transcript last week about the loans on synthetic fields. With a capital budget, the town of Dieppe, the city of Dieppe identified its projects for synthetic surfaces. So we have a list. We submitted part of our borrowing for the synthetic surface for $1 million. So we have the balance of the money. And we have projects where we can redirect money, so we chose this one. So this meets our commitment of $1 million. So this project is around $3 million. So we're still waiting for partners. So there's a request for that. Is that it? Thank you. Councillor Arsenault. Thank you, Your Worship. I want to wish a Happy New Year to everyone. This my first meeting, and I hope everybody has good health this year. Thank you. Councillor Thibodeau, I have nothing this evening. Thank you. Councillor Brideau. Oh, it's a bit faster with the button. I have nothing to mention this evening. That's rare. Councillor Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. I would like to wish a happy carnival to everybody. I think our next meeting will be after the carnival, so I hope everybody has a wonderful time. Councillor Leblanc. I have nothing for this evening. Thank you, Your Worship. Councillor Godette. Thank you, Your Worship. Firstly, I would like to mention that I had the chance to go to 2 events on the weekend with the New Year, the Chinese New Year, and Vietnamese. I would like to congratulate them to have organized these events. It shows how the municipalities can grow with these events. These people were very happy and so proud. I don't find the word roots. Yes, they're roots. And we had the chance to see traditional dances and songs. We were trying to speak Mandarin and Vietnamese, but it's not very easy. So I want to congratulate those people. I would like to mention that during the last snowstorm, I noticed that the trucks that are cleaning the streets, when they get to the end of the street, they turn right, and then they put the snow right on the corner, on the bank. And a lot of corners in the city, there's one right by my house where the snowbank is higher than 6 feet. So when you get to the corner, it's impossible to see the traffic. You have to get your nose out into the street to see the cars that are coming. I don't know if there's a method to try to reduce that height, maybe with some kind of shovel. I think we should think about that because it's dangerous. We have to get the nose of your car out to see what's coming. And my last point is my request of 2 weeks ago to install a camera to get pictures of Uniplex, because some people are interested to see what the progress is in the construction. Has there been a follow-up on this? Yes, we've talked to our technology services, and we talked to Pomerleau, the developer. Those cameras are also for the security, the safety of the site. So we went 50-50 on the installation. So we want photos on our website periodically in the inside until the exterior is finished. So that's the agreement we have with Pomerleau. Thank you. When will we get those pictures on the website? They're already there. I haven't been on the website for at least 3 days. Yes, they've been there for about 3 days. So I would like to take this opportunity to mention this weekend the events. I didn't go to the Chinese festival, but I went to the Vietnamese activities, and I was surprised by the number of Vietnamese people that were present there. and people from Dieppe as well who were there as well to eat the delicious food cooked by the Vietnamese. It was very successful. There were 600 or 700 people in the hall. So we can see the integration and the inclusion of these communities at home. It's very interesting to see and to hear the youth especially, youth, the Vietnamese youth who speak Vietnamese, French, and English. I had a unilingual Anglophone right beside me, and I said, "What's your problem?" So it's really fun to see. And it's nice to see it in our communities, and it's getting bigger. We mentioned it a lot. This is the future of our community immigration. We want people from everywhere on the planet. So I now wish you a very good evening to everyone. Thank you.